Today's lab is on plate tectonics. We're going to look at 6 different evidences that have to do with plate tectonics, and you're going to be using the software package called My World GIS version 5. The purpose of this video is to show you how to set up your computer so that you can analyze some data and then make some recommendations based on the data that you find in each of these specialties that we're going to be assigning you. There'll be 6 different specialties, so that we'll have essentially 3 groups in each classroom. Take a look at that specialty, be the specialist in that area, and then present it to the class. So each of these videos will tell you, like for instance, how to set up the software for each one of the specialties. Now what you may want to do, if you're not familiar with plate tectonics, is go ahead and watch my video on the introduction to plate tectonics in the environmental science folder. So if you look at the playlist for environmental science on my YouTube channel, you'll find it there as well. So let's go ahead and get started. There are 2 things you're going to need. Obviously, your My World GIS software plus the instructions. Each team, now remember, there are 6 different specialties. The specialty 1 or group number 1 is going to be looking at glacier and fossil record data. And by using these 3 sheets of paper, you should be able to kind of work your way through it on your own. So I'm going to slide this over here for now. And if we take a look at My World GIS, you have the construct side and then the view side. So we're first going to go to File, and we're going to open a project. And the project is called Evidence for Plate Movement. So the Open Project window comes up. You click on Evidence for Plate Movement and Open Project. As it's loading, you'll notice that there are several things that happen. The view side comes up with a map. The construct side comes up with all the different layers. Now, My World Tour, as you can see right here, is just a very quick Reader's Digest version of what you're going to be discovering. Then we have our pull-down menus and then your layer list. The very first thing I like to do is take a look at these ribbons at the top here. Each of these ribbons have tools that you can use to manipulate this map. First thing I like to do is, this is a magnifying tool to increase or decrease. Plus sign means increase the size of the image. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to grab the hand and put it into a place that I like to see it. It's comfortable for me. And then these are the layers that automatically loaded into the project, because I built it based on several images or several layers. And then we're going to go through each of the layers here today. So we'll have short snippets of each of the specialties. So first thing is that you'll notice that the layer of the latitude and longitude has been launched. Also the continents has been launched, and that's going to be the basic package for every specialty. We also need to turn on the fossil distribution list, and when I do that, you'll notice these little squares come up. Each of these squares represent a particular dinosaur, and you'll read about them in your instructions. The Cygnioanthus, the Glossopteris, the Listerosaurus, and the Mesosaurus. Each one of these lizards or dinosaurs have a very special niche that they inhabit in ecosystems. And so you'll need to read the instructions about a little bit about each of these dinosaurs. Like for instance, where do they live? What do they eat? You know, were they land living creatures, or were they sea-going creatures? So you have to read on that in the instructions. And then we want to find what the glacial movement is. That's what these arrows are. Geologists know that depending on the kinds of rock deposits and the way they're deposited, if there was any glacial movement. And of course the arrows show where that movement was. And then of course if you look at the glacial deposits, you can see where they were deposited. And obviously there was this area of Africa at one time was covered with lots of snow and glaciers. Same over here, South America, Australia, and of course India was maybe a little surprising. But if you also, and even though the instructions don't say so, if you click on the plate boundary types, you can see where the plate boundaries are, and you can start kind of imagining if there is any kind of movement, where it may have been. So I'm going to turn it off for now, because I don't want to confuse anybody here. But basically, that's what you're going to be looking at. If you compare the fossil record with where the glaciers are to where the plates are, you will probably be able to come up with some kind of supporting theory of plate tectonics. So let's go back to the instructions. As I said, you'll turn on the continents. Let's put that right here. These are the layers that you turn on. When you open a file, the continent one is always going to be on anyway. But on this one, you only need this one, and this one turned on. And once you turn those on, then you'll see the various images that I just showed you. Now, once that's done, then usually the second page is about what kind of tools you should be using on this. And this one on fossils and glacier movement is relatively easy. It doesn't take a lot of different layers to turn on and off. But the piece of information you're definitely going to need on this is this key to the names. This is like a legend or the key to what each of these dinosaurs, where they lived, how they lived, what they ate, and what kind of ecosystem there was. So make sure that you read that. And then there are the questions. There's about 10 of them in all. And this is the information you're going to provide to all the other groups. So once you have taken a look and gathered all the information, answer the questions based on what you know about plate tectonics and about the fossil record, then you should be able to present it to them. But if you really don't understand what goes on in plate tectonics, definitely watch my video on the introduction to plate tectonics. It's in the environmental science playlist on my YouTube channel. I also have a link on it on our website, so you can just click that link and watch it on the iPad or your phone. So anyway, this concludes the instructions for the first, especially the first data group that looks at fossils and looks at glacier movement. I hope that's helped. As we go to the lab, ask me if you have any questions. Thanks.